I think we'd all like to know what exactly is the difference between these. Hi, I'm Joe, and welcome to MotorCity Boat Works. Let's get to work. So what we're going to be doing here is, this is a project I've been wanting to do for a while, an experiment. If you're like me, I started using Sikkens Cetol Marine a long time ago, 30 years ago, on my first sailboat. I just love the product. I always thought it was great. But over the years, they've changed the formula and the marketing, and they now have 4 different types of Sikkens Cetol for marine application. And I thought what we would do is I'll compare and maybe show what these different versions of Cetol Marine do. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I think it'll be very, very interesting. If you watch my channel, you already know MotorCity Boat Works has no sponsors. I get no compensation from any of the products or the companies that I talk about on my YouTube channel. I do put links in the show description for some of the items that I use if you want to try and find them. Amazon does pay a small commission if you use those links. What I've done is I've gone ahead and taken a piece of 2-inch wide, about 1/4 inch thick teak, and I've cut it into equal sections 12 inches long, sanded it down. It's the same piece of wood, same species, everything is the same, sanded down to bare wood. And now I'm going to go ahead, we're going to apply the 4 different kinds of Cetol Marine. Let you see what it looks like. I'll be very curious to see. I've often wondered, well, what's the difference between this and the difference between that? We'll do all these different versions. Sikkens Cetol Marine is kind of like a stain. It's got some properties similar to varnish, and it's also a little bit of a preservative for the teak wood. In some previous episodes, I talked about why I use this product exclusively in my boat restorations. Be sure to check out those episodes. I've added a 5th can of Helmsman Spar Varnish. This is a varnish that I frequently use for some very special pieces on my boat restorations. So we have a total of 6 pieces of wood. This is going to be plain teak. This will be what we can compare everything to. Well, this is what plain teak wood looks like. And there it is. These are all the same species, same board. Everything's the same. And you can see I've got them marked here on the back. Cetol Marine, they're marked right here across the top. But this is essentially what's on the back so I can keep track of what's what. All these right here, that's probably $300 or more worth of wood finish. Each one of these is $50, $60 for a quart. So what I've done is I've opened them all up because I was curious as we went along. Well, what's the actual difference? Can you see a difference? And you can. There's a definite difference. This is original. This one is the Cetol Marine Light. This is natural teak. And this one is the gloss top coat finish, Cetol Marine Gloss. You can definitely see the difference that this is kind of like a brown orange color. This one's clearly orange. This one is like a darker brown color. This is what I've been using on my wood for the sailboat and for the Albin 27. And then this is the gloss finish. It almost looks like Spar Varnish. And just so you know, I have some Helmsman varnish. We're going to open that next. We'll open this up here. This is about $200, $250 worth of wood finishes and varnish here. All right, here we go. Look at this. This is Helmsman varnish here. So you can see these two probably look very similar from the can there. All right. So let's go through and we'll do this here. First sample, Cetol Marine. So I've opened this up. This is Cetol Marine. This is the original version of Cetol Marine. This is what we got 30 years ago. This is the version that the salty dogs out there, they sometimes complain. They feel like Sikkens Cetol Marine's a little bit too orange. It causes the wood to look a little muddy. They don't really like the color of it. This is the version that they complain about. You know, I have to agree. I stopped using Cetol Marine, the original version, years ago. I felt like it was also too orange. So we're going to see what happens here. This is what it looks like. See this here? Check this out. All right, interesting. It's pretty dark. Let's try it. Now, for our experiment, because I'm going to put this outside, I'm going to do the front and the back. And the reason is, you know, I feel like if you leave an unfinished edge, well, then the wood can absorb moisture, and then, you know, that just defeats the finish from the interior out. So, boy, this is really orange. Cetol Light.
This one is called Cetol Natural Teak. This is the one that I use on all of my boat restoration projects. I use it as a base coat, and I'll come back later on and put gloss on it.
All right, so this one is going to be Cetol Gloss, but in order to use the gloss, you're supposed to put down a base coat of something. So in this case, because I want to show what the gloss looks like, we're going to use the natural finish, just like I've been using on the Sailboat and the pocket trawler.
The last one is Helmsman Spar Varnish. This is the one that I use to do tillers on the Sailboat, very high gloss items like the cockpit epoxy table that I built for the Trawler. When I want a really high gloss, I tend to use Helmsman. I think it's worth comparing the Helmsman finish to the Cetol Gloss finish. We'll be able to see that down the road. If you're enjoying this episode, do me a favor, hit the like button and click subscribe. This channel would not be possible without your support. Now, I have to admit, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this experiment, I recently got some teak patio furniture and I needed to refinish it for my wife. I've got a table made of very high quality Burmese teak. It's unfinished, and I needed to figure out what color to choose. I wanted it to match some vintage patio chairs that I had from the 50s and 60s. The chairs are probably made out of hickory or something, but they have a nice golden finish to it. I wanted to make sure that the table would match it. In this case, to refinish the table, I used the Cetol Marine Light. I show you this just to give you an idea of the golden color that can be achieved using this finish. Maybe it's not for everyone, but in this application, I kind of like it.
So I've done a number of coats on my bare pieces of teak. We're coming to the end of this whole process. If you watch my other video, I talk about the number of coats and how I go about doing it. So we're at the end here. This is the last coat I'm going to be putting on each of the pieces of teak. And then we'll take some photographs and you can kind of see what they look like and maybe compare them.
I mean, here we are inside the art studio. You can see the different wood projects that I've got going on. And I got to say, I don't know that you could, definitively tell the difference between any of the finishes from, this is 5 feet to the table, 10 feet over to the chairs. I don't know that there's a difference anywhere that's worth noting. It gives it a nice kind of golden brown finish. I got to say that, I expected there to be some dramatic differences between the 4 different types, and that's just not what I'm seeing. I used to wring my hands and wonder, am I choosing the right color of Sikkens Cetol, to do my teak? Maybe there's one that's lighter or something that looks better. And what I've basically discovered from doing this is that they all kind of look the same. And there are very, very subtle differences between them. I don't know that it would cause me to choose one over the other. I gotta say, from a lazy man's point of view, I don't know that it makes a difference, Clearly putting the Cetol Marine Gloss finish, the top coat on there, makes a lot of difference, and it really causes the wood to kind of pop and to have a really nice kind of wet finish. These other ones, it's just a matter of personal taste. I can't see the difference. Can you see the difference? I have no idea why you would make 4 different types of finish, but they all look almost exactly the same when you do a side-by-side comparison with such subtle differences. One of the biggest criticisms of this product is there's a lot of folks who feel like it makes your wood look kind of muddy and have sort of an orange color. If you look online and you check out the boat building forums, the restoration groups online, you'll hear the salty dogs complaining about how this product makes everything look orange and it just looks disgusting. I don't know if I believe that. That's not been my experience. Someone could complain and say that it's orange, but I think it looks pretty good. I would definitely keep using any one of these products to refinish my boat restoration teak. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount them to a board or something, and we're going to leave it outside the boat works in the backyard, in the boat yard, behind the boat works, and we'll leave it there, and we'll see how long it lasts. We'll see, how many months do we get out of this? In 12 months, 18 months down the road, we'll be very curious to see kind of how the different versions hold up. Tell me what you think in a comment below. And while you're at it, be sure to check out my playlist for the Albin 27 Pocket Trawler. I want to thank you for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Stay motivated.